It's November 4th, 2018, and I'm at the 50th Annual Gobbler Getter National Enduro at Perry Mountain Motorcycle Club near Maplesville, Alabama. It's a beautiful day for racing with temps topping out around 72 degrees and partly cloudy. This is my first Enduro. I don't have a thorough understanding of all the rules of Enduros, but I'll do my best to explain what's going on. Riders line up 5 per row, and rows start 1 minute apart. You're allowed to have your engine running, and when the number changes on the board, it's time to go. This is the start of the first test, and I decided to hang back a little bit initially just to see how things would go. There's nothing at stake here for me today, so my goal is to learn about enduro racing and have fun along the way. Enduros are made up of several sections referred to as tests. We'll have 5 tests today, with each test consisting of 8 to 10 miles of trail. This first section, or test, is extremely tight woods racing. I'm only a mile or so in, and I find myself looking ahead for an opportunity to pass the rider in front of me. I overshot this turn and tipped over. This is not the way I plan to start this race. A mile into the first test and I'm already on the ground. I'm able to get the bike up and get going again. I've been racing in hare scrambles up to this point. I'm never racing in enduro. The Gobbler Getter has a reputation for being very difficult, and it may not be the best choice for my first enduro, but it's relatively close to home, and there are a lot of people I know racing today. I've made it through the first test, and I'm happy to find that I've made it in time for the second test before the second test starts, with several minutes to spare. So here I am at the start of the second test. With enduro racing, rows are made up of all different skill levels, so you may have a AA rider and a C rider on the same row. This is good for friends and families that want to race together and or touch base throughout the race. It also means you have a lot of faster riders that need to pass you throughout the day. Trying to stay out of the way of faster riders in this tight technical trail was definitely a challenge for me during this race. I struggled with it. And when I say I struggled with it, I mean it slowed me down considerably. I don't want to negatively impact someone else's race, and I try to be courteous to allow plenty of room to pass for guys coming up behind me. The course was so tight it was difficult to let others pass without pulling off the course. Conventional woods racing wisdom says hold your line and they will get past you. That's not always the case on a course this tight and with the wide range of skill level at this race. I'm a little more cautious than most, I think, from this point of view, because I really don't want to get caught up in a wreck because the guy behind me got impatient. I had the same problem at the 9-hour race back in July, being on the course where faster guys are constantly coming up behind you. Hare scrambles really don't teach you how to deal with this issue because of the way starts are handled, with faster classes always up front. You might deal with someone lapping you at some point, but that doesn't happen nearly as often. This is the start of the third test. Another difference I noticed is I never really knew how I was doing. When I'm in a hare scramble, there's a screen at the scoring tent that tells me what position I'm in for each lap. In this race, there was no way to know how I was doing when I passed through the scoring areas. Throughout the day, I saw riders with a small chart taped to their tank or to their bars. The chart seemed to have information about how long each section was, and I assumed some information about the amount of time you have to complete each section based on the class you're in. I don't know where to get those charts, so if some of you Enduro riders could give me the scoop on those charts, where to get them, etc., that would be much appreciated. In an Enduro, you never repeat any part of the course, as opposed to hare scrambles where you may do as many as 6 laps on the same course. In hare scrambles, you can get a feel for the course, where the fast sections are, where the technical sections are, etc. In an Enduro, everything is new from beginning to end. Each test or section is only ridden once. I completed 4 out of the 5 tests, which was about 35 miles. I had pretty consistent times, and I was running about mid-pack in my class for the first 4 tests, but not completing the 5th test dropped me down to 21st out of 25 in the C40 class. Test 4 ended back near the parking area, and I was exhausted. I looked at the board at the start for test 5, and I would have only had 17 minutes to get gas and take a break. I was so tired, and I likely would have just been in the way of faster guys, and I might have got myself hurt, so I decided to call it quits at that point. I had a lot of fun, and this race definitely tested my endurance. I'd like to try another Enduro next year, but maybe one that doesn't have 600 bikes. We're trying to grow our channel, so if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to follow along with our race season. We try to post new videos each week. I always read comments, so let me know what you think in the comments section. Thanks for watching.